My name is Jamin Goecker. I'm your first friend in Alaska, and luckily for you, I'm also a real estate broker in South Central Alaska. And today we're going to be talking about some money-saving tips that you can implement if you're considering moving to Alaska. Obviously, Alaska is not the cheapest state in the entire country to live. We're very well aware of that, but there are some things you can do that are within your control to make Alaska a lot more affordable, regardless whatever your income is. Before we get started though, do make sure you like this video, subscribe, because that really does help out quite a bit, and let's go ahead and jump into it. One of the biggest things you can do in order to make sure that you really kind of are saving as much money as you can is just understand that food is a lot more expensive in Alaska than what it is in the lower 48. So if you can isolate and really minimize this one line item on your entire budget, you're going to save a lot of money. And what this looks like is just saying, okay, we're not going to eat out very often, and we're certainly not going to be doing DoorDash and all this other stuff. Might do it every now and then, but certainly not a regular thing. Like, you can easily spend upwards of like $1,000 or something like that eating out and doing DoorDash every single month in Alaska, unless you are very intentional about just saying, hey, we're just going to buy in bulk at Costco and eat at home as much as we possibly can. Obviously, sometimes we're going to go eat out and have a good time, but try to minimize eating out, because that's a pretty big line item for a lot of people, and it's directly lifestyle related. So no one is forcing you to go and eat out or do DoorDash, okay? So if you have the opportunity to control this line item and you need to save money, this is going to be a big opportunity for you to do so. Now, the second big thing that you can do in order to save money on your budget, and this kind of related to food as well, but make sure that you go and fish as much as possible for your protein. Not hunting as much, because, sorry guys, I know there are a lot of hunters out there, but the reality is, once you factor in the cost of ammo and training and gear, the time that goes into processing and everything, usually the cost of going and hunting is just, it's not going to pencil out, and you'd probably be better off just going to the store and buying meat. But it's a lot of fun though, so I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, if we're trying to save money, hunting isn't necessarily what I would do. Unless you've got a moose out in your front lawn and you're allowed to shoot it, then have at it, I'll eat my words. But until then, I'm going to say fishing is actually probably going to be the most bang for your buck, cost effective thing if you're trying to save money. And salmon is really going to be the way to go there. Once you've been up here for a couple of years, you get a chance to get a dip netting license, in which you can go down to Kasilof or any one of the rivers where they have salmon running, and then you have the ability to catch, I think it's 25 salmon if you're an individual, and then an extra 10 salmon per members of your household. So if there's let's see here, so let's say husband, wife, and 2 kids, that's 25, that's 55 salmon you can take home. Okay, so that's a lot of salmon, and that you can pack in your freezer, and you can imagine how long that's going to last, even with a family of a pretty good size. So yes, salmon is usually pretty affordable once you get like the gear and stuff, which is a lot more affordable than hunting. This is really going to kill some of you free spirits out there, but if you are trying to save money, you need to minimize the amount of out-of-state travel that you do. And the reason I say that, traveling to anywhere from Alaska is going to be more expensive. Plus, you live in Alaska. You already live in a destination location, okay? So just get out, enjoy more of the state, and visit around as much as possible. And you don't necessarily have to stay here like for years without going anywhere. But again, if the point is to save money, then just minimizing the amount of traveling that you're going to do is a big opportunity to save some money. Now, let's go ahead and take a break real quick here. For those who've been watching for a little bit, you do know that I host a podcast called the Alaskan Journey Podcast for people who are relocating up here. And that's just a great place for you to hear from people who already live up here about what it's like living on the last frontier. And they'll tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. So it's not just me trying to tell you stuff. This is coming from other people as well. And it's not like I talk to them off to the side and say, hey, only say the good stuff, blah, blah, blah. No, just tell them everything. People will self-select if they're supposed to be here or not. That's the entire philosophy. Also, if you're looking at moving up here and you'd like a copy of my relocation guide, feel free to go to my website. Link for that is in the description section down below. Make sure you register and put relocation guide in the little comment section so I know what to send you. Now, let's go ahead and finish up today's video. All right, I know I'm probably gonna upset some guys on this one, but make sure you find nice, affordable hobbies if you're in Alaska, okay? And I mean, we all know what I'm talking about, like the four-wheeling and hunting and snow machining, believe it or not, jet skiing and stuff like that. Great fun. Can't get enough of it. Also can be kind of expensive. So if you're trying to save money, then it might be a good idea to kind of scale back the type of Alaska themed expensive activities you can do. Maybe go, find some buddies that have have the same thing that you're into, and make some friends. Maybe get have fun with them. If not, then that might just be something you kind of have to forego for a little bit, which I know is just completely heartbreaking for a lot of Americans. But yes, it's okay every now and then just to forego something that you want for something that you want more later, if that makes any sense. Finally, if you are really trying to save money, and I mean really trying to save money, wear extra layers during the winter time and just keep the thermostat as low as you can handle it. I've seen some people where they keep it like in the 50s during the winter time. That's a little cold for me. I live in my fourplex at the moment, so I've got like this little 800 square foot apartment, and I'm okay keeping that at about 68 or so. That's perfectly fine, and it's super small, so easy to do. But if it was a big house, I'd probably be keeping it about 65, 64, somewhere in there. So it really just depends on what your comfort level is. But utilities is a big cost in Alaska, so if you're trying to save money, that is going to be a great way to do it. Just make sure that your utilities aren't super high, and that's going to help you out quite a bit. Also, bonus during the summertime, you're really not going to be paying a whole lot of utilities at all, because after the winter months, it's going to feel really warm, and you're just not going to touch that heater until like September or October again. But this has been your videos talking about the best way to save money when you're up here in Alaska. I hope it's been useful. If you have any tips for yourself, that you'd like to share, feel free to drop those in the comments section down below. Thank you, and see you next time.